Hey everyone, before we begin today's episode of Potentially Dangerous, I do want to do a quick announcement that today's program is sponsored by Big Game Wrestling Club. Big Game is located in North Liberty, Iowa, and it's run by head coach Dylan Carew and his brother Tyler, and also assisted by Tyler Clark. The club is just west of the 380 exit there in North Liberty. They practice 4 nights a week, Sunday through Wednesday. They just opened this new facility in North Liberty. They're offering some beginner classes 1 to 2 times a week, combat classes twice a week. Boxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, and more are going to be offered here at Big Game Wrestling Club. So if you're interested in a little bit more, you can contact Dylan Carew. His email address is D as in dog, Carew, Carew 103 at yahoo.com. I'm also going to put this information in the show notes. You can look up Big Game Wrestling Club on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm pretty sure he's on all of them, and you can contact him pretty easily that way. So, all right, that was our quick plug, so let's get to the show.
No, it's Iowa.
From high school to international wrestling, on the mat and beyond, this is the Potentially Dangerous podcast with the guys from IA Wrestle.
If you're a fighter, you like a fight. If you're an American, you like a fight. If you're an Iowa Hawkeye, you know you're going to get a fight.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes and all your podcast-friendly apps. And follow us on social media platforms at IA Wrestle. Time to strap it up and get to the show.
All right, welcome back to Potentially Dangerous. I'm your host, Ross Bartachek. And joining me today, I got a very special guest, Mr. Alex Thomsen. People in Iowa know this name. He's from Underwood, Iowa, and he's now at the University of Nebraska. Alex, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Just got out of class at 8:30 a.m., so had to drag my butt over there, but no class until 12:30, so I got a little bit of downtime now.
I mean, so how's life out in Nebraska? I mean, I think this is the first time we've really chatted with you since you've kind of made that transition out of high school and into the college life.
Yeah, I love it here. Just the environment that you're put into it's kind of like a small town feel in a big city, if that makes any sense. Lincoln's kind of a close-knit group, and especially with the team, my teammates are amazing. We back each other up. We're in the room, not every day, but a couple days out of the week, just going hard. And I mean, we're unifying as a group, and I think we have a really, really strong team this year. So it's been really good.
So, I mean, obviously you were in that big 2018 class, had a lot of big names that all went on to that Division I level. That was 2018, so you've already been in school for a year. You've kind of had a redshirt year to get your feet wet. So, what can you tell us about your first year of college life and, adjusting to the academics and the wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's a wake-up call, I mean, in high school, I didn't really have to try very hard with the academic side. And wrestling, obviously, I was trying pretty hard, so that's a given. But academics, just getting that down was one of the biggest things. I had a few bumps, but I'm getting that straightened out. Just a few things here and there, but no, I mean, academics is good. Wrestling is crazy. I mean, just the levels, the levels in the room, with the coaches and the other D1 guys. They're like, everybody's good. I mean, there's no bad kid in that place, and so you got to be on your A game. Every single day. But you got to be willing to learn and willing to try stuff too, because, I was a feet wrestler, right? So I never really worked top and bottom. I mean, I knew how to get out, I knew how to ride if I had to, but, I really never had to use it, where college, I mean, it's essential, to be able to ride and turn people and to get out from bottom. And so I've been focusing on basically those two things this whole last year and this summer, and obviously the summer before it too when I came in. For the summer bridge, just working on those two areas. And then my feet, I train that a lot too, but we've been trying to focus just top and bottom and really getting it down to a T So I feel comfortable down there, and I'm confident now. I wasn't very confident coming in. I was getting rode out by like Montoya for, I think one day it was like 20 minutes straight. Like I just couldn't get out, and it's like it's such an annoying thing. It just bugs you because you can get out from this dude, but you just don't know enough too. So it's been nice having those guys around.
Well, I think it's pretty fair to say that Montoya, he was a pretty good college wrestler. So I mean, it's not like you were getting ridden out, by nobody, right?
Oh, for sure. He was so mean on top. It was scary.
So then, I mean, obviously, just from what you're saying, but my next question was going to be, what's the biggest change in your wrestling? Would you say it's that mat wrestling's been the biggest transition for you then?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to change. I'm still going to be on my feet a lot, but now I feel confident on top and bottom, and that's what's really, essential for a collegiate guy is being able to wrestle well in all three areas of wrestling. If you categorize wrestling in three areas, you got obviously top, bottom, on your feet. So, I wasn't very confident coming in with the top and bottom. And so, I was working with the coaches, Snyder, Manning, they all have crazy good experience. And Kokesh came in too, and he's really good on top. He's mean on top. And so, like, me and Javon Parrish were working yesterday on top and bottom, and it's nice getting that experience, before season so I don't come in and get shell-shocked, so I'll kind of be, knowing what to expect, I guess, if that makes sense.
For sure. So, I mean, you've kind of mentioned a couple names, but, I don't think people in Iowa are as familiar with that Nebraska team. So, like, who would you say you work out with, on a regular basis in that room?
I work out a lot with Javon, our 33-pounder. He got his redshirt pulled last year, and so he kind of just got thrown to the wolves, but he did really well. He came out, with a new mind and a new look at it, and so I've been using him a lot to really get the feel because he's wrestled Siriano, he's wrestled the Ohio State kid Pletcher or whatever. He's wrestled those guys, so he knows what the top guys are doing, so it's nice being able to pull a little bit of experience from him, and kind of letting him show me the ropes with how they kind of go along their business. So Javon a lot, and then we have a couple new 25s in, one kid from Jersey, another kid from Texas. So they got a couple kids in on my weight. We were kind of short 25s. It was me and Zeke Moisey last year, so I wrestled around with them a lot. And then I'd say Rich Lovitt. He's a Idaho kid, I'm pretty sure. He's really good kid. He's a four-timer, multiple-time national champ at Fargo. Really good at Greco. So he's really long. Gives me that lanky feel, So cause I know there's some 25s out there that are pretty long, but there's also some short and stouts. And the 25s we have now coming in the freshman class are pretty short and stout. So it's nice. I get kind of both feels, on each side.
I mean, I think, you mentioned Ridge. I think he's a name that some Iowa guys might be familiar with. I think Iowa State was, pursuing him pretty hard. So, I mean, I think a lot of people got familiar with him. And I know you already talked about Kokesh coming in, but you kind of referenced that there was a little bit of a turnover on the staff. I knew you weren't there a long time with the previous, I mean, Manning and Snyder have been there forever, but what do you kind of think about this coaching transition, I guess is what I was trying to get to.
Yeah, I really like Montoya. He worked with me and Moisey last year a ton, and he was kind of the first one to show me like how to get off the bottom, more efficiently and how to ride, like how to be comfortable riding on top. So, and it sucked except when he left, but he's got dreams too, and he's got to kind of follow his path and do what he wants to do. So if it wasn't working for him, that's all right. But that kind of sucked when he left, and then we had Maple Leaf too, and that was kind of, I felt like, out of the blue. But I understand you can't hold anything against coaches that are moving around. It's they got to better themselves. They're in this. This is their job. We're just. I mean, it's our job too, but we're just wrestling. This is their full-time job. So if something either better opens up, they got a better opportunity somewhere else, then you can't blame them. But no, we had really good coach staff. We still do. We just got Kokesh in, Berger's coming in, I think, as a volunteer assistant. And so, great minds right there as well. So I don't think we lost anything, but I definitely think we gained. We got a lot of experience in that room still. And so I wouldn't say the coaching change is going to affect anything. It didn't affect anybody's decisions to go anywhere. I feel like we're all committed to this program. It's just the way the guys, are unified as a group. There's not one coach leaving is going to ruin a team. And so, no, I think we're going to be great. We're going to be really good this year.
Yeah, and you've kind of hit on the partners you work with, and those guys are obviously really talented individuals. I just kind of figured like you mentioned, the departure of Montoya and Maple probably hits you as a lightweight a little bit harder than the rest of the team. And obviously, that Nebraska room, the middleweights have always been really solid. Obviously, on the world level, they've got, the cream of the crop world people, to work with, and then adding Kokesh is just a huge benefit. Berger stays around. That's huge. So, obviously it's not taking a step back. That's apparent that you guys are just keeping talent there. So that's pretty big. I did want to talk about, obviously 125 is probably still where you're going to be this year, right?
Yeah, yep. I'm on a diet right now. I've been working it down. I'm sitting right around 34, 35 right now, which is about 10 pounds within. I want to drop it down to maybe 5 or 6 at all times, and that'd be really cool to train around 130. If I could get my weight back down like it was in high school, I could just worry less about cutting weight and more on school and getting better, and just being an overall better person. I feel like, if my weight's out of whack, then, I'm not caring about school. My wrestling, I'm just worried about cutting weight. So, it's like a snowball effect if you think about it like that. So, I'm just gonna get my weight right. We've been on like a diet for probably 3 months. I was pretty heavy coming in. I stayed heavy throughout the redshirt year. It sucked getting down. But I feel like my performance, in the room now, is better than what it was last year, just because of, obviously the experience, but also not being so heavy and not feeling so slow. You'd be surprised how much, 5-10 pounds on a little guy would do. I guess on anybody it would make a difference, but on a lighter guy where there's not a lot there anyways, you put an extra 10 pounds on somebody, it's going to slow them down.
Well, for sure.
Whether you believe it or not.
Just proportionate-wise, right? That's 5 pounds is a higher percentage body weight for you, or body mass for you, than a 57 and a 74-pounder. So yeah, it makes total sense.
Yeah, exactly. So get my weight right. Keeping the schoolwork up. Just trying to be a better person, and try to get as much as I can out of this year, and hopefully win a national title. So kind of got my head in the game right now. I kind of didn't lose it last year, but I just worried about the wrong things, and most of that was because of weight. And so once I get that fixed, it's just everything else can take care of itself. So
yeah. So I know I interviewed you, I think it was after your second state title. You said honey buns was your cheat food. Is that still a cheat food? It's probably definitely not in the diet.
No, I keep my diet pretty clean. I don't try to cheat it too much, just because once you cheat once, it gets easier to cheat it. I'm not sitting here saying I'm like the poster boy for dieting, but I cheat myself every once in a while. I'll go to McDonald's and grab a cheeseburger sometimes.
You got
I try to stay clean, just because the coaches are on me about it, and I got a great athletic trainer that's with our team, Tyler Wida, and he was with me through my whole knee surgery repairing, worked with me for 5 months to get that back on track. Has been with me with my weight, keeps me in check, kind of gives me goals to get down to, and so, I don't want to let him down, if that makes any sense, because he's putting a lot of time and effort in. The least I could do is just follow directions.
For sure. for sure. So, kind of looking back to last year, you wrestled a little bit of a limited schedule. I think, most of your wrestling was done in November, and maybe you got into an open in February. So, I mean, is there, can you give us a little bit of an insight what was up with this limited action, I guess?
Yeah, it really wasn't the weight. I mean, I got sick like the night before one tournament. I was throwing up for like an hour and a half straight at like 3 a.m. And so I kind of, was like, all right, this is not going to be a good day to wrestle. I mean, I probably could have toughed through it, but, I just wasn't feeling good, and then another one in December, had a scare with my knee again. It was like I was wrestling with Zeke, and it kind of just locked up, and wouldn't go back into place. I mean, my knee used to lock up all the time throughout high school, and into the first year. It just would kind of lock up because I had maybe my meniscus I had a bucket tear or something from previous years of wrestling on it. But it just locked up and it wouldn't come back out. Usually I can just bring it to my chest and it'll fall back into place, but it wasn't doing that. So Wita and I kind of just talked about it, and we just took like 2-3 weeks off and just went back on the therapy, made sure everything was strong, was doing ice baths, hot baths, just trying to make sure no swelling's going to happen with it when it started. We got MRI, just made sure nothing was wrong. So we took it very seriously. I mean, it was my redshirt year, it's all experience at this point. So I wasn't worried about the matches, really. I was just worried about making sure my knee was going to make it through the next 4 years, on top of that. But now it's great. Like, I mean, I don't have any pains. Knee's a little fatter than the other one for some reason. Never figured out why. Probably a post-op, swelling, but it never went away. I don't know. Maybe it's just a little fat or something. But no, it's strong. My flexibility's there. I gained all my muscle back. Put more muscle on, actually. Leaning down to put more muscle on, so that's good. But no, knee's solid now. I feel comfortable on it. That's the one thing. I was so scared wrestling on it because I'm like, man, I don't want to blow this out again. But then that kind of just kind of induces injuries if you think about it. If you wrestle protected, the odds of you hurting yourself are a lot higher than if you just wrestle, wide open.
Right.
And so I kind of was wrestling protected, and I'm like, dang, I'm going to get hurt. I keep doing this stuff. So, it kind of just, I think like a month back in, I just started letting myself wrestle, and flow like I used to. And it was a little sore when I first started, but I went back to normal. So, no, that was that little divot when I didn't wrestle, just because of some knee things that I didn't want to have escalate, at a open that really doesn't mean anything to anybody. So, yeah.
That's totally understandable. And, obviously a healthy Alex Thomsen, that's what we like to hear. And that's what we like to see. We saw how deadly you were, all through high school. You didn't back down from like any big tournament, so everyone's well aware of what you can do when you're healthy. So I think that was a really good perspective. I do want to switch lanes a little bit. We kind of talked about how you were part of that big 2018 class, and a lot of you guys redshirted, and there seems like there's going to be a lot of your guys that you were probably close with from Team Iowa that are going to be challenging for starting spots just like you this year. So I just kind of wanted to pick your brain. What do you think your graduating group from all you spent time with these guys all summer growing up. So, I mean, what do you think you're going to show the country this year now that you're all off red shirt?
All of us, or me personally?
All of you, just kind of. I mean, because I was just thinking, you're close with, you grew up with Brody, Michael Blockus. Just, I mean, there's a lot of your names just I could mention, but I was just kind of thinking, like, what do you think? That there's a lot of Iowa pride usually, so I was just kind of thinking, what do you think about your whole group now that you're going to be entering the lineup? Are you gonna put Iowa back on the map a little bit as a the high school level? I guess I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think we all are going to have Iowa behind us until we go wrestle at Carver. I think that's the only time where I don't think the fans are going to cheer for us, and I'm cool with that. But yeah, I think our class was really strong coming out. We had a couple, I think Teskey, me, and Blockus were all top 5 coming out on your guys' board, and then Flow Wrestling as well. So I think we had the capability of doing great things, and with that redshirt year, I mean, if you look at any of our matches, I feel like we all grew, a hell of a lot more than, we were so much better than we were back in high school. And that's only 1 year of college wrestling. Imagine like you asked me that question 2 years, 3 years down the road when it's my junior, senior year, like, we're going to be way above what we used to be, down here starting out. So no, I think we're going to make some noise this year. Hopefully get to wrestle Teskey again. I think we have Penn State at home. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if our schedule's out yet or not, but yeah, it's gonna be good. Me and Teskey hopefully wrestle again, get that 3rd match in, maybe even more, because I feel like Big Tens, NCAA's, we got a lot of chances to meet up.
So yeah, I was just gonna say, while we're on the topic of Teskey, because obviously you guys pretty close. I mean, you guys were like ranked. I don't even know if you were like the top ranked guys at your weight, but you were right up there. You wrestled twice your senior year and you split. And you just got that close bond. So why don't you just kind of talk a little bit about your relationship, and just a little bit like that.
Yeah. No, we're pretty civil towards each other. I never really had any hatred for him. When he beat me, I think it was the same. We both grew from it, so there was no bad thing that came out of losing those matches or winning them anyways. There was just a lot of experience gained. That was 2 of Iowa's, I think, I'm a little biased because I'm one of them, but I think we're one of the 2 of the top guys to ever come out of Iowa, in my opinion. But
That's
no,
fair.
we talked down in Vegas. He said everything's going well. So, yeah, I think he's doing well out there. I think he's probably going to get the starting spot because I don't know who else
I think they got
is down there.
I think they got a transfer from like Lehigh, maybe Shrupp or something. Does that sound right? But either way, we know how good Teskey is, right? So he'll still be in the thick of it.
Yeah, he'll be fine. But no, I think we're probably gonna have some battles again this year. If we do, that's gonna be sweet. I'm ready to brawl out again with the kid that actually wants to hand fight. That's what I'm ready for. I'm ready for some brawlers again.
January 24th in Nebraska. We're probably gonna have to send Cam Kramer to. I think he was like there for your match at Cedar Rapids. He recorded that one for us. So I think we're going to have to send him back. He loves going to Nebraska, so this will be right up his alley.
Yeah.
And back on that schedule, kind of still on the topic of Michael Blockus, you guys are also, you're coming back to your home state for a duel versus Northern Iowa there in November. What do you...
Man, it's coming, man. This is crazy.
So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on getting a match that early in your career back in your home state? You probably can get some good support coming over. I know you're from Western Iowa, so it's not that far to travel for a home duel, but home turf in Iowa too, right?
Man, it's like homecoming all over again, man. I don't know if they're gonna be for me or against me. I don't know how these Iowa fans feel about me going to Nebraska. So I kind of hope I get booed. Snyder said I'm probably going to, just because it's a UNI and the West Gym is pretty stacked, and so they say they get a lot of kids in there and it's loud. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for we go to Iowa this year too. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
That's gonna be insane. I'm ready to brawl out in that place. I'm ready for a war when it comes to that place. It's gonna be crazy. But no, I'm excited. I think, really thinking about it, I feel like the fans are gonna be appreciative. They're not gonna boo me, I don't think, but maybe the Iowa fans, they're pretty hardcore when it comes to that stuff.
Well, yeah,
I could see that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. That's gonna be pretty tough versus Northern Iowa. because you're probably going to be wrestling another Iowa native, whether it be Jay Schwarm or Kyle Biscaglia, right? So,
Yep.
and that one's going to be a pretty tough pull, but and then Carver Hawkeye is probably never very fun to wrestle in as an opponent. But you've been there before, you've wrestled in it, right? So you know what it's all about.
Yeah, you guys' first night of conflict, I wrestled in that against PA kid.
Yeah, Cole Manley, I want to say. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I wrestled in Iowa once. Wrestled a preseason national tournament there. That Conflict at Carver tournament.
Yeah.
So I've wrestled a few times in there, but not when it's like
packed.
Yes, yeah, it's packed and it's worth something at this point.
Yeah, because I mean,
so,
I don't know if you followed it since it's not really your school, but Iowa's home schedule was very lacking a year ago, and I think that kind of affected the turnout at a lot of duels. But this year, Iowa's got, everybody, you name it, Penn State, Ohio State, and then you guys. Those are the three big schools. Wisconsin might be coming. So, all the really big duels are at Iowa, and I feel like when the fans know they got a really big home schedule, those are the years when it's packed every duel, even if it's not necessarily, the biggest duel, which Nebraska duel will be a big one since it's border state. So, no, that'll be a fun environment. What do you think about? Go ahead. No, you go ahead with what you were going to say.
Oh, I was just going to put it. I'll probably get booed there, and that's okay. That is all right.
Oh man, well, we'll see what happens. Just kind of speaking about the Big Ten. Obviously, there's no shortage of big names at any weight class. You've wrestled as a high schooler all across the country. It's not like you back down. So, what do you think about this wrestling in the Big Ten where there's not a match off? Every time you go out, you got to bring your lunch bucket with you.
I feel like I would have been regretful if I didn't wrestle Big Ten. That might sound cliche to say, but, you basically said it with all the guys there. Oh, my gosh, it's going to be crazy. There's not going to be a match where I can take it easy or I have an easy way out. They're all going to be probably top 15 guys, I'd say, top 10 guys. They rank the Big Ten pretty favorably just because of how tough it is. And so I feel like if you come out of Big Tens, you either win it or top three, you're going to have a really good seed in the NCAAs, obviously, just because of they know how tough it is. So if the NCAA knows how tough it is, then, it's probably a pretty solid division to be in, our conference. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to wrestle those kids, because it's all experience and, I'm ready to learn. If I take a setback or two to win a national title, I will do it without a doubt. No doubt about it.
For sure. There's no better place to breed competition than the Big Ten, right?
For sure. Look at our schedules alone. The Big Ten schedules alone are just insane, just compared to other ones, I guess. But no, I'm excited. There's going to be a lot of noise this year, so it's going to be fun. I'm ready.
That's right. Obviously, Nebraska is a team that's usually right up at the top of the standing. So, just kind of in general, what do you kind of think about the overall team this season?
I think we got a really good team. I could probably run bottom to top. I think 49 is going to be our only question on who's wrestling that. If we're wrestling maybe Kevon or Puritan, we'll see. But other than that, we got a pretty solidified lineup. Me at 25, Javon 33, Red 41, 49, not for sure yet, 57 Rob, 65 Zay, 74 Labs, 84 is Benz. Yeah, Schultz 97, and then Benson at heavyweight. That's a, we didn't lose a whole lot of guys. Who we lose? Two guys. We lost Moisey and we lost three. We lost our 49, our 25, and our 57.
Yep.
We lost Moisey, Shear, and Berger, but Berger's still here. So we probably really never lost him, but we just lost eligibility for him.
That's right.
But no, Payne's gonna take over that spot really well. He's so good right now, and I think he's traveling over to Kazakhstan with James this month for the World Championship, so he's going to have a lot more experience over there too. So we're going to have a solid middles again, good upper guys. So it's got to be up to me, Javon, and CJ to hold down the light boys. So we're going to have to come in guns blazing, try to get these duels started off right.
That's right.
Try to keep the momentum going, or build momentum, I guess, and then let the guys in the middle keep it going towards the end. So, our team's going to be really good this year. Coaches are excited about them, are excited about us. We're excited about ourselves. I mean, just the way I'm pretty sure I've said it like 30 times, but just how unified we are, and we all hang out together. We go do bowling, stuff like that. I mean, we do team stuff together, and it's not forced upon us, which is cool. So it's nice having a family, basically, another family away from home. So we'll do really well this year. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, Peyton Robb's a guy we're pretty familiar with. He did compete in one of our Night of Conflict events, so we're very familiar with how good and special he is. And you kind of talk about, I was interviewing Brent Metcalf for last week's show, and we were talking about, because it's the 10-year anniversary of when Iowa won their national title, so I kind of had him on to talk about what that team, what made that team special, and he said, it was all about that that close-knit bond that you're kind of talking about, and that, there's that special, like when you go out, you're trying to get, maybe tech fall, you're trying to score as many points as you can so that the next guy has to one-up you. So, I mean, you got some good guys at the lightweights, and I think you're, this is just me, and I'm just kind of a fanboy of you, so it's probably not very fair, but I think you got that potential to be a guy that sets the tone. You're going to make it really hard for Javon to go out there. I mean, he's gonna have his work cut out, I feel like. So, definitely looking forward to it. You mind doing a couple of current event things we got coming up in the wrestling world?
What do you mean?
Well, so I just kind of want to ask, like, did you watch Yanni Zane? Did you watch that Final X?
Oh yeah, for sure. Current events, yeah, sure. I was brain farting there. Yeah, Zane wrestled when he wrestled like he was supposed to. I mean, I think he stuck to his game plan. There wasn't a high scoring match. I kind of caught the back end of it, like the second period. So I didn't see the first period. I was kind of late getting on. I was helping mom and dad. We're moved out of our house now, so just packing stuff up. But I caught the last end of it, and I just think Yanni was shooting too far away, in my opinion, for the last 2 minutes. Just kind of diving in on ankles where Zane was just as comfortable as Yanni was. And so, I think Zane did a good job. But
tactical match, right?
Yanni's good. Yeah, Yanni's good. But Zane came out of this one, so we got to cheer Zane on. We can't do what people are trying to do to Downey, just because David Taylor's not wrestling. Like, I mean, they're still representing, us as a whole, so we gotta root for him. There's no reason to hold anything against him. Like, it wasn't Downey's fault that David Taylor got hurt, and Zane won fair and square. So, he even had to wait, 2-3 months to wrestle again. So he wasn't even on the world team officially until Monday. So, I mean, he waited. He still put in the work. He was still training. So, we have to root for him. Well, there's no doubt, no way around it.
And this year especially, right? Because even if you're a Yanni fan, you want Zane to qualify that weight if you think Yanni can make the Olympic team, right? So, I mean, just from a team perspective, like, we want everyone to do, we should have pride in Team USA, and B, like, Olympic year coming up, we need those weights qualified. We don't need to be like the last Olympic cycle, 2016, we were going to Frank had to go to the last chance qualifier to get 65 qualified. So, Team USA all the way. I know you're a big Greco guy. I mean, Greco national champ in high school, so I feel like you got a good perspective on, what do you think about our senior team? How did they fare at this year's World Tournament? See anybody stepping up?
I mean, I think they're going to do really well. I didn't pay attention too much to it, but I would not be surprised. The one guy that stood out when I kind of hung out with him for those 2 weeks that I did that 2 week stint out at OTC, that D'Angelo Hancock.
Yep.
Just insane insanely good. So I could see him winning a world title, to be honest. I'll put it out there right now. I bet he wins the world title.
All right, well, it's
I
recorded.
mean, he's just that. Yep, I think he's ranked. I think he's ranked high. I don't know if he's ranked number 1, but I think he's ranked pretty high in the senior rankings. You know, he won. I think he won Pan Ams or whatever. So, I mean, he's been winning. He's been winning everything. I mean, his world team trials match looked like not to be mean or anything, but kind of a joke. I mean, he was killing the dude, just, you know, end over end, just throwing people. So, no, he's really exciting to watch too.
Well, that'd be huge. I mean, because we need some of that exciting wrestling on the world level for Greco to get some more excitement building behind it, get some more success. So, you know, maybe we see more, you know, college guys that are coming up. Maybe they start doing that U23 route, start getting some success there, and then they, you know, transition into that senior level. I think that's key. You got to build it from the ground up, and hopefully having a guy like Hancock winning a world title, I think, would go a long way in helping that out.
Yep, I agree, 100%.
Go ahead.
We should do really well this year in both styles. Even women's too. I think our women's is really good.
Yeah, that was my next question. What women's wrestler are you most excited, most pumped up to see go out and compete? You got one?
I mean, they're Iowa. They wrestle at Iowa, but yeah. Isn't Allie Reagan on the team?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, she's gonna do really well. And that Sarah Hildebrandt. God, they're just just mean wrestlers. I mean, they bully these other girls around like it's nothing. So, yeah, I think they're gonna do really well. And obviously, who else is up there? Do we still have Mary Lewis wrestling? I haven't been paying too much attention to them, but I know that the bottom two pretty well.
I think Tamara Mensah-Stock, Adeline Gray.
Oh, that's her. Isn't she like a 2 or 3 time that Yasar Daju champion or whatever?
Did she win the Euregan, or is it Dogu? I can't.
Yeah, Euregan. Yeah, that one. Yeah, she is insanely good. She is mean too.
For sure.
When I first saw her wrestle, I was like, "Geez, that's kind of wow." Like it was kind of like an eye opener. I was like, "Dang, this chick is not playing. She ain't playing around right now."
That's right. I mean, that was the same way how we built the women's is, like we're talking about Greco. You got to build it from the ground up, put a lot of effort into that youth level, and it eventually comes through the pipeline.
Yeah, sure.
Talk about your weight a little bit. You're a 57-kilo guy. What do you think about Dayton Fix? He's on the world team. He's had a lot of junior level, cadet level success. What do you think about him? Is he going to win a medal?
I don't know. It's kind of in the air. I mean, he beat Gilman. Those are some pretty cool matches to watch. Just kind of like, I mean, them being it my way. I don't know where Dayton's going, if he's going 33 or whatever, but just seeing the way they wrestle, not mimicking or anything, but just seeing how they do stuff is gonna it better prepares me as well. Just by watching, it's crazy. But I think, I don't know. He might win a medal. He might not. It's kind of like. I mean, he's good. He's really good, but I don't know who all is at 57 for the Worlds right now and who's some of the top guys. But we'll definitely see how he does against them, obviously, in a couple months or less than that, like a month or two. So I'd say I'd say he gets a medal. I'd say he gets a bronze, maybe. It's hard to say, though. It's World Championships, though. I mean, that's the best of the best. We're not just talking about a regular tournament. But he won Pan Ams or whatever, so I could see him getting a medal.
I mean, yeah, Worlds, it's way too hard. It's what guy you got, what match is he coming off of, how healthy are you that day? Just there's so many things that, unless you're Jordan Burroughs, and even he needs help, he needs things going his way, but, a lot of guys, it's like perfect storm that you ended up on that podium because you were healthy that day, and that's so critical.
Yeah, that's one thing about it. It's like, are you the guy on that day? I mean, at any point, any of those guys could win a world title, right? But it's who's on that particular day. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So, I mean, We'll see who's healthy. At that point, we'll just see who's healthy.
Kind of transitioning off the world team. I interviewed your brother Blake for the IA Wrestle website there a couple weeks ago. I guess a couple months ago now. So I kind of wanted to talk about your old high school program, Underwood. You guys returned second most points in 1A, I want to say. We ran an article a couple weeks back. Returned quite a few state finalists. So what are your thoughts on your old high school team before, the season really gets going?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we returned all finalists because we had 2 freshmen in Logan. So it would be Stevie Hamilton and James. They're going to be really good this year. Blake still has me in a high school group chat from years back, and I haven't got kicked out of the chat yet, but I'm always seeing them talking about putting together some workouts or going to hang out and stuff. So they're going to be really good, and they're close with each other. That's what's cool is they have that team bond where when I was in there, we had a team, but it wasn't a full team, and we were close, but it wasn't like we were super close, And so, there's a lot of guys, on that team that can do really well, can make deep runs at state this year, So I think they're gonna be somebody. They're not gonna be someone to take lightly at all. I think they should have gotten a trophy last year, but it happens. Stuff happens in the finals. That's the same thing with who's healthy that day or whatever. Who can keep their head during the state finals? Because there's 13,000 plus people watching. I mean, you got to be in the zone. You got to be ready to wrestle. So, I think maybe some of our guys got a little shell-shocked or whatever. But it happens, and I bet Stevie goes back this year. I bet all of them do, actually. And I bet they add Blake in there as well. So hopefully have 4 state finalists and whoever else is there. There's a couple of young guys in there that I don't know very well, but I know those 5 standouts for sure. And Zane Ziegler's looking really good. I think he might fall into 26 maybe. So I'm not for sure. He might be a little bit bigger than that. Not, overly positive on that. I know they should have 4 or 5 guys in the finals this year and hopefully make a run for that team trophy, the individual team. I don't know if they're going to do duels or not. My coach was never big into duels, as you've probably found out if you've ever interviewed him before. He doesn't really care about the duels at all, ever.
For sure. No, but I think you're right. I mean, your brother was, I don't know if he was or not, but he was definitely considered to be a finalist contender. Obviously, his tournament didn't go the way he wanted. So I don't think it's unfair to say that you guys will have, or your old team will have 4 guys that are probably predicted to be at least in the state finals. Weston Allen was another name that was a freshman that was ranked coming into the state tournament, I think. So a lot of talent coming back for Underwood. And I know when I talked to your brother, he was like, this is going to be the best team in Underwood's team history.
Yeah, I'm not even going to say anything against that because I could definitely see that happening just because, how many good guys there are in that room, and they wrestle each other. They don't go for a JV kid or a kid that's lesser than them. They don't take the easy way out. They're in there. I walked in one time. I stopped in after, I don't know if I was on a break or what I was, but I stopped back and dropped in on a practice. Maybe it was Christmas break. I don't know. But I think they were just running a practice, during an open mat thing. Yeah, because I don't know what the rules are. I don't want to say anything that's,
no, you're good.
Illegal. But I went in and sat in on one. It was kind of sitting there just talking to Joe and Jake or whatever. And I look over and I see Blake and Hamilton. It literally looked like me and him back in the day. Just not fighting. We used to fight a lot. We used to punch each other. It was bad. Okay, we had a really bad our room was mean. Okay. And like Blake's keeping it going, and we got Logan. He's being mean, but yeah, I saw Blake and Hamilton just battling it out. Like, I swear they were just punching each other in the face. Like, it was just collar tie after collar tie, shots. It was not, this went on for like 15, 20 minutes. And I'm like, man, if you guys can go that hard for 15 minutes, like, imagine, if you really wanted to, how hard you could go in like 6. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Like,
feel bad for the other guy, right?
That's what I was gonna get to. I just feel bad for the other guy, because they got to endure that. They might not. It's kind of like that saying, like, they might not win the match, but like, they definitely lost the battle. Like, they got beat up. They don't want to wrestle you again. My coach sometimes put that in my head, like, make them not want to wrestle you again. And that was kind of the thing growing up. I think with a lot of coaches that say to the kids, like, make them, they don't want to wrestle you again. You got to stay in their face. They're not going to want to wrestle anymore. And I think Joe's implemented the hand fighting really well, especially when I first came in. I was kind of like that slick guy, just hit super ducks and shots from like a mile and a half away, but I still got him because I was kind of quick. And he implemented that hand fighting with me, and I think I kind of brought it along and showed that the hand fighting stuff worked, on several different levels, with the national level and state level, and now college level, because I still hand fight. I love hand fighting, but that team is full of hand fighters that are mean. Like, they're just mean kids. But, I mean, yeah, they're going to do really good this year. Really good. And that room is tough. So I would not want to be another team visiting in there at all.
That's right.
Or even wrestling them in a duel.
We're definitely, Coach Joe and Jake have done tremendous things from that program. I know we really started to take notice once you kind of came along, but they've built on that from just having, maybe 1 or 2 guys to now they're having a whole team. So Underwood's definitely doing some big things. We're looking forward to them. We're definitely looking forward to your season. I think like yesterday or 2 days ago was 1 month till first practice. So, your season's coming up. You're going to be in the room, for official training. Not long after that, tournament startup. So we're definitely looking forward to your season. And we just really appreciate you taking the time to join the podcast. I think this is your first time on. I know you did an intro for us way back when, but this is your first podcast appearance, right?
Yeah, that was like freshman year, I think, with that phone call thing.
Yeah, so
I remember that.
We've always appreciated having you around, and like I said, we're really looking forward to it. So best of luck to your season, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, guys. Thank you.